It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
Hey. And also we have the Murman.
Yo.
That's it.
That's all I got.
All right.
Usually you got more.
I'm here. What do you want?
Yeah. What more do you want? He's here.
That's all I can ask.
All right.
Anything more would be greedy.
That's right.
Greedy.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks to all been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform, or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/filmrageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible movie from the past or the future, for all I know. As long as it played in cinemas. That's the only rule now. Because we watch kids' movies, we watch conversion films. You know what? If you were
I don't know why you bring up conversion.
We love our rom-coms.
If you're in your right mind, you'd all dare us to see all the conversion films that we've missed over the years.
Make sure there's plenty of period pieces too.
Oh, well, you know, sometimes period pieces are not bad, and we may hear something more about that later on. All right, well, enough of that. Let's get to raging. What would the amazing Murman predict? What would the amazing Murman predict? Will he predict the rage or will he predict the mondo? Will he tell us all what Bryce and Jim saw at the movies? Here he comes, swimming. You better look now. Close your eyes now.
Swim,
Open,
Murray,
surprise. Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Are you done?
Swim,
never done.
Murray. Swim, Murray, swim, Murray. Swim, Murray, swim. Swim, Murray.
God, I really hate that. All right, so we saw a bunch of movies. Well, you guys did.
We did.
First on my list here is The Fabulous Four.
Yes. With
What did they call her? Divine? The
Hmm?
Divine Miss M or some shit like that?
Oh, yeah, they did once upon a time.
Is that what they call her?
I believe she was called that for a bit.
And Megan Mullally, who has one of the most annoying voices on the
Yes.
planet.
Really?
Hilariously.
And I
annoying.
can't remember the third person. I just know Susan Sarandon's in it too.
Susan Sarandon and Cheryl Lee Ralph.
That's the other annoying one. Yes.
What?
I was trying to remember what her name was. Looks stupid.
All right.
I definitely glad I missed this one.
Okay.
Let's go double rage. Although I'll probably be wrong about that now.
Double rage. Double rage.
Here we got I don't even know.
Rage times 2.
Widow
Clicquot.
Clicquot. Clicquot? I don't know.
Widow
Clicquot.
Clicquot.
Or as I like to call her, Clip Clop.
Clicquot? I know.
No, not Clicquot. Clicquot.
Clip Clop.
I like Clicquot.
I've got some ColecoVision
it's
games we can
a period piece, and there's some rom-com, and I think it's about wine.
play. Yeah,
So,
it's not a rom-com.
Jim doesn't like his period pieces too much, so he might have given it a meh. And Bryce loves this historic shit, so I'm
Really?
gonna say he give it
Do
a
I?
You do.
I'm gonna say he's gonna give it a mondo.
Yeah, you usually do.
Really?
Yeah, usually because a lot of stuff in the period piece era has
And
nothing
it
going
looks
on.
slow,
usually-
and there's
yeah,
a lot of talking.
That's usually you.
It's
That's
usually you.
Yeah.
Well, now that you put it that way, I could see how, but I don't think that I'm heavy.
Historically,
I don't think I'm heavy mondo on the period pieces.
in period piece
say
film
heavy.
rage history, you are very mondo on period
Put it
piece.
this way, you're more apt
Really?
to like it than we are.
Really?
And of course, the last one, the big
Money maker.
$2 billion box office hit, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Which I'm pretty damn sure that I'm gonna get this wrong, but
Okay.
I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
I jump to conclusions.
All right.
Since I saw this with Jim, and I remember having a really good time, and I remember him laughing.
Okay.
I'm hoping he
Yes.
got to Amanda.
Okay.
And you, I pretty much guarantee you hated it.
Okay.
But I'm hoping maybe there was enough, just
Right.
enough,
Right?
to give it a man.
Why would you assume I hate it?
Because you hate most superhero movies.
I
hate
don't.
most superheroes.
You also-
he hates
you also
most
don't like
superhero-
Ryan Reynolds,
I always
so-
say if it's a
rule.
superhero movie, so
a
it's
man.
meh.
That's usually what
I
he
just
says.
said.
There you go. So,
And he's like, it's a superhero movie, so it's a bleeping rage.
yeah, that's usually me these days.
Anyway, there you go.
So you guys all mixed up, man.
I don't know about that.
I do.
Nailed it.
Probably not, but again, don't care.
Okay, before we start this, I just had a question for you guys. It kind of came up. While we were watching some of these movies the other night, and I thought, if you were a porn star, what would your porn star name be?
I don't know.
I'm thinking mine might be Little Cum Dumpster.
Ah,
yes.
Yes.
What do you think?
I believe.
Should I
I've
use
heard-
that?
I believe I've heard that before.
Oh, there you
There
go.
you
Perfect. So you haven't got one thought out yet?
I don't know. Jim Smith?
Okay. That sounds a little boring. Here comes Jim
very
Smith with his hanging meat.
There's only about 10 million of those in the world.
But none that are in porn.
I think you probably find you're wrong about that.
That
If you
they
did-
go by Jim Smith.
What about
They
maybe
might be.
John Smith? John
might
Smith's a
be.
more popular name.
If they don't want their family to know the real name, they might
John
make up. They might
Smith.
just call
Yeah, then
themselves
they-
Jim Smith.
No, they're gonna call themselves something ridiculous.
You never know.
Well, have you thought one out
I
yet,
think you
Mert?
should look that up. No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I don't care.
Well, I just thought Little Cum Dumpster would be good.
This has what to do with this next movie?
It has something to do with what I said. We're not going to go into why I said it or who I said it about.
It just kind of reminded me about this movie.
This movie.
Needless
All
to
right,
say,
then.
Murray, we missed you on Monday night. We had a
Yeah.
significant amount of fun
Yeah, I'm sure.
because I think we were alone in both. Oh no, there was
One other guy.
person
Shocker.
with Clip Clop with us.
Yes, one guy watched Clicquot, and we had a private screening of The Fabulous Four.
Which Bryce is going to tell us about right now.
What's there to say about The Fabulous Four?
Tell your little cum dumpster all about it.
I think we need to lose that now. Fabulous Four is the latest effort from Susan Sarandon, Bette Midler, Megan Mullally, Cheryl Lee Ralph. Whew. This is it's a movie that has a lot of elements of like Three's Company. It's very sitcom-ish, except for Megan Mullally says a lot of dirty things, which helps it out a little bit. It's really, really quite awful. There's no chemistry between anybody except Megan Mullally and Cheryl Lee Ralph. And I don't even remember what their names were in the movie. But they had some chemistry, and this movie manages to miss the only thing it had going for it, because while they had those two with a lot of exchanges at the beginning of the movie, as you move through the movie, there's less and less going on between them. And that was the only thing that was good about this movie.
It's Kitty and Alice, by the way.
Kitty and Alice.
Sure.
So as you go into get further into the movie, you start seeing Megan Mullally look more and more bored in every scene. Like you literally can see her just bored on screen, which is weird because she's one of the executive producers. So you'd think she'd be
Putting a little
showing
effort
up.
into it.
Well, she's
But-
getting 2 paychecks. What does she care?
But she's just standing there in some scenes, just with the plainest face. Just
Maybe she was drunk in those scenes. She was doing
Maybe.
a lot of drinking.
was
Maybe
doing a
that was
lot
her
of
I'm
drinking.
drunk face.
But I can't say that I didn't laugh. In the first 15 minutes, there was probably 4 or 5, like, not like big laughs, like, for
Yeah.
me. And then it just kept on getting worse and worse and worse. And we started having these Three's Company situations where, she doesn't know that this guy is involved with this, with her best friend, and she's falling for him, but she's he's leading her on, but he doesn't know he's leading her on. And it's just like, it was all so stupid. And how could he not know he was leading? And he was totally into it. Like, it seemed, I'm watching from the outside. He was into her.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to bang Susan Sarandon for sure.
Big time.
Yeah.
But just ridiculous premise after ridiculous premise. All I remember about this movie really is that Megan Mullally and Shirley Ralph were okay together, and Michael Bolton was hilarious because he just stand there like a mannequin. And I've never seen him perform live, but this is what he's like a modern day Perry Como. He's there's just nothing, no facial expression.
I've got a nickname for him, which I'll bring up in a minute.
So his scene was hilarious. You know what? There's like 4 or 5 things that made me laugh so hard that I'm like, did I hate this movie? And the answer is yes. Yes, I did hate this movie. It's very poorly written. It has no cohesiveness whatsoever to it.
No.
It's just scene after scene where I don't even think there was a script. They have 2 writers credited with this, but I don't think they wrote a script. I think 90% of this is really bad improv.
Was it one's name was Chat and the other one was GPT?
No, this Chat GPT
could write something better than this.
Yeah, Chat GPT would have put out a far, far superior script to what this was.
See, this movie pretty much should have been subtitled "Old Biddies Go to Europe," which there's been 10 of those in the last 2 years.
They didn't go to Europe.
They didn't go to Europe.
Wherever they were,
went to
going.
Key West.
Whatever,
they went to
same
Key West.
thing.
And here's the thing about Key West.
By the way,
anybody who's
screenwriters were Anne-Marie Allison and Jenna Milley, which I think maybe they were there. I don't think they're. And they might have wrote a script, but that's not what got put on the screen because that was fake. That was 90% improv. I mean, it was so awful.
But it was badly.
And
improv.
they just kept it was bad improv.
Maybe it was 2 days of shooting, and they just
kept whatever they had.
Maybe, but if you've been to Key West, anybody that's been to Key West, the only thing that's important about Key West is a couple of things, and they showed the locations of those. Number 1 is chocolate-covered key lime pie, which they never showed, and conch fritters, which are everywhere, and they're disgusting. Just so everybody knows, it's almost like a joke. No, it's the conch shell.
I know what a conch shell is.
The thing that's inside the conch shell is conch, and it's like everywhere.
And they eat that?
Yeah.
Gross.
It tastes like toenails.
I don't understand the poster either. Why is Bette Midler like making a touchdown sign? She's like going touchdown. And then you got Megan Mullally holding up the bouquet like she caught it, but she never caught a bouquet. This wasn't in the film.
It's just bad film altogether. Well,
it was awful. It was a rage.
Yeah.
I hated this movie. However, I mean,
Shocker.
I can't say that I didn't laugh like in the first 15 minutes and at Michael Bolton. Not with him, at him.
Yes. So I just want to remind everybody about this because they're the Fabulous Four, and they're supposed to be best friends from their 20s.
They're all different ages.
Susan Sarandon is born in 1946.
Mm-hmm.
Bette Midler's been born in 1945.
Okay,
so
that
1
makes
year
sense.
older. Yeah. Megan
Mullally.
Mullally was born in 1958. So they could have been her babysitter.
Maybe. Yep.
Shirley Ralph is born in 1956. Yep. So there's no planet on Earth. Like, why did they not find there's other people that act that are of a similar age.
Like any of those women from all those old biddy
To be
movies.
honest, it would have been nice if they would have
Like
replaced both
the
Susan
Brady
Sarandon
one
and
or
Bette
the
Midler.
Wine Club.
Yeah.
or
Let's make them all
whatever.
born in 56 instead of having these other 2 that
Yeah.
just were terrible.
Couldn't have made it
I'm
better.
sorry, Susan Sarandon, you were not good. And Bette Midler, you're Bette Midler.
Sadly, she hasn't been very good for a long time.
So, just to get this out of the way, also,
Yes.
Bryce.
What?
It's not boing. For me, this whole movie was.
I never said boing once in my review. What are you talking about?
You didn't.
You
But
said it about 8 times
Before the
on
review.
the air.
Well, I mean, when you're talking Bette Midler, how can you not go boing?
Yeah. That would be opinion of you.
when the thing is, Murray, that when we would get so upset watching this movie, to get us to laugh at each other, because again, we're the only
You would
2 in
just
the
shout out
cinema.
stupid
One
things.
of us would shout out boing.
Yeah.
But What does get a boy in this is robot Michael Bolton.
Oh, man.
That was the most hilarious scene.
It was so good.
And I had to show Murray today because he's not aware of the Michael Bolton Valentine special on Netflix.
I wasn't aware
which is probably one of the funniest things Netflix has ever put out.
Really? I haven't seen it either.
Oh my God, you've got to see it now because you want to see a whole other side to Michael Bolton. All right. If this only had Megan Mullally and Sheryl Lee Ralph for an hour and a half, this would have been a masterclass in awesomeness.
They were good together.
With Megan's motherfucking hilarity. In every single scene that she says something, what comes out of her mouth is gold. Sheryl Lee is sheer fantasticness is what I'm going to call it. Mm-hmm. No matter what Murray thinks of them. That's all I want to say. But no, this, as Bryce has already alluded to, had a Three's Company style plot that you can only explain as the most idiotic and convenient story for a set number of characters that seem to always show up just in case someone was getting lost on set or something. I'm not sure how that happened. But what made it worse is how absolutely annoying, not funny at all, and repulsive Bette Midler is in this. Through the entire movie, she is one of the most repulsive things that's ever been on screen. And this movie, if you don't believe me, watch this movie. The story is slapped together with no real thought and has two friends, get this, Murray, two friends who haven't spoken to each other in 58 years. Because one stole another's boyfriend. Mm-hmm. They reunite, apparently, for some reason. This was completely horrible, except for Megan and Sheryl Lee. This was a complete rage. I've got a bunch of unpacking. There's a scene on this boat where they're parasailing.
Oh, God, I forget. Yeah, I forget about these things.
Yeah.
I got to start taking notes.
Bette Midler and her whole character, that's another thing that annoyed me. Mm-hmm. What was with the set cast? Like, they meet, I know that Key West is not a huge place, but every single place they go, they bump into these teenager, maybe 20-year-olds getting married from the plane.
They were terrible, too.
They were terrible, too. But it was, the things that made this so awful was that, the whole interplay between Susan Sarandon and Bette Midler, who were, it's kind of Susan Sarandon's story, really. Yeah. It's ultimately, she's the star of this.
She's supposed to be the main character.
She's the main character.
She's kind of the main character. But none of it fits into the story properly. They're just, like Bryce said, I think this was a lot of ad-libbed, and it was just not funny.
And I felt so bad for Bruce Greenwood. Just dude, what are you doing? Why?
Yeah, well, he picked the wrong horse?
Bet on the wrong horse.
Oh, I knew it was something to do with horse.
Bryce knows a little about that.
Yeah, he knows about horses. Yeah, this was terrible rage. Murray, you nailed it.
Glad I missed it.
But Michael Bolton was gold.
Michael Bolton was gold. And so was Megan. She's funny in everything. But you know what? I think I turned to Bryce, and the thing that was really missing from this movie was Nathan Lane and the Sewer Boys. Mm-hmm. That could have pulled this movie out. If anybody.
Need a little bit of gay to make it a little funnier.
Yeah, well, just the Sewer Boys from.
Just the Sewer Boys.
Yeah, it's from the musical.
What musical?
What?
Wasn't it Bros, the musical?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bros.
So good.
Yeah. That was what it was called.
I think so. All right, so the other movie we saw was Widow Clip-Clop. No, Little Klim-Clom. No, Widow Clicquot. Clicquot.
It's actually Widow Clicquot. They even say it in the movie, Clicquot.
I know, but they're British pretending they're French.
Yes.
Yeah, well.
What's up with that? First off,
fine.
This period piece biopic of
But they
Widow
didn't sit there and talk with French accents.
No, they didn't, which was good.
Yeah.
Played
just what you want.
Even though they're in France.
Yeah, I don't know why the Brits are always wanting to make French movies. I think they're jealous or something. I don't know.
Oh.
So, this period piece biopic of Widow Clicquot Vision, played by Haley Bennett, has an interesting structure to it. At times, it's kind of all over the place, jumping around in time frames, both before and after she becomes a widow. On top of that, there is a lot of references to mental health and bisexuality and homosexuality, open marriages, but never quite truly defined. Although there is not really the story, but it adds a layer to the story. So they have all these things that are inferences that they kind of throw in very, 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 very subtly. But it gets woven into the story, and I don't know, I don't think it made it. It didn't destroy the story, but I almost sometimes thought, do we need it? And it did keep me guessing a little bit. There are definitely things about this film that make it unique to this genre of biopic. So it's not a traditional biopic, I felt. Like the subliminal sounds that come throughout the film, like flies. Like we're watching the movie and all of a sudden you hear these flies and there's not it's not like, and they had other sounds. And I think that it kind of messes with your comfort while you're watching it. On top of that, the director, Thomas Napper?
Yep.
Does give us the feels of what 1800s France looked and felt like. And did give us a story nicely full of dread, I want to say. I felt the dread that this film, it carried dread through the entire movie.
Was it not the time of Napoleon?
It was the time of Napoleon. You're right, Murray. So that Napoleon and his reign is a big part of this film, which actually plays nicely into the dread, because you get the feel of what the people, especially business people, thought of Napoleon through this, because he almost destroyed the French. Yeah. Well, but you see other depictions of Napoleon, the people loved him, but certainly business people didn't love him because he almost put them out of business.
Pretty sure the poor didn't like him either.
Well, they didn't cut his head off, so that's a plus.
Chance.
Haley Bennett, I think, did an amazing job as the lead in this, but her husband, played by Tom Sturridge, I felt was not up to this task. Like putting her with him, he was blown out of the water by her talent. The story, like most biopics, is obviously enhanced for the screen, and to be honest, wasn't the greatest story. I think that her story of being this amazing female entrepreneur and visionary kind of gets overshadowed by the fact the story is a little boring as it comes to the end. Also, not sure why the English, as I've sort of already mentioned, are so enthralled in making French movies. I just keep asking myself, why did the French not want to make this movie? How about that? Let's try for the future to make a French movie about important French people of the past. Starring French people, made by French people. I'm sure this documentary would have been much more interesting and better than this, although I was a little surprised how much I did really enjoy this. After I got through it, I have thought more about it. I kind of liked it. It was a meh. There was enough dread and there was enough uniqueness about the film.
There is, and that's what saves it a little bit. But it's so odd that this movie got made just because it's really not that interesting.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot, like, you look at this life and you're like, why are we making a movie about this?
I know.
And
they tell you at the end.
At the same time, I think it was made as well as it possibly could be made without having, a real dynamic character to kind of, focus around, because she was just someone that married into money, basically.
Well, she came with money, though.
And then he
she
died,
came for
right?
money, too.
She came for money, too.
It was a bit of an arranged marriage, actually.
From what I can tell from the trailer, basically, she wanted to run the vineyard, but of course she's a woman and wouldn't let her.
Well, that's part of it. But yeah, it's kind of one of those movies where it's like, I don't like, why would they focus not focus more on some of the stuff that was maybe a little more interesting. And I don't even know if that would have worked, because they did skirt around the homosexuality and they did
And the bisexuality.
And it's just, everything was touched upon, but nothing was explored.
Yeah.
And even in the business practices and all this other stuff, everything was touched upon, but not really explored. And it's definitely Haley Bennett's movie, because she's in it the entire time.
Yeah.
While stuff's going on out off of the vineyard, we're only on the vineyard with Haley Bennett.
Yeah.
Even though some interesting stuff's going on
well
away from the vineyard.
Exactly.
And
I didn't have enough budget
and then
to
I'm
show
thinking,
that.
And I'm thinking, would it have been better if we did kind of follow whatever Sam Riley's character was? I can't even remember his name.
Yeah, the wine merchant.
The wine merchant. Would have been more interesting if we kind of followed him a little more, because he was kind of an interesting character.
He was.
Would have been more interesting if the accountant, if we kind of followed him a little more. I don't know, but I know that not a lot happened.
No. The story
And
is
that didn't-
kind of not that
but
interesting.
It's weird, because it wasn't that interesting. I didn't really learn anything.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, so they finished the movie, Murray, at the very end, and you find out that, like, Clicquot, can you
Clicquot.
Clicquot.
Clicquot. That's it.
Clicquot. Klimklop.
Yes.
Is still one of the most powerful vineyards in the world, and it's because of her.
Sure.
So
But-
if she hadn't have done what she did,
yeah.
be
then
around,
that wine, and not only that she took her husband's visions, because they made him look like he had schizophrenia.
It's either
And
schizophrenia
he committed
or
suicide
dementia
or something.
Yeah.
And she took that and made this wine that is so good, it's internationally known, and changed all of the Champagne region, because up until that point they were using different grapes, and she changed them to the Pinot Noir, which, if you know anything about Champagne, which I happen to know,
I know nothing
Pinot
about
Noir
champagne.
is the grape of most sparkling wines, because of the complexity of the grape itself. So those are the type of things that, but it's like a snapshot at the end of the movie. It's kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, here's what happened because
it was
of
just
this.
in the end credits, where before the credits ran, they just
actually told a
threw
real
it up.
story?
They threw it up
Yeah.
on the screen, and it's like, okay.
Like they do. Yep.
Yeah, but it's funny because it does deceive you a bit. To Murray's point, it's not really a love story.
Oh
It
no,
thought it was
there
a
is
rom-com.
love.
no,
there is love in
not
it.
at all.
There was
Yeah.
a young guy who was like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
with greasy
he's-
hair. With
he's-
greasy hair leaning over his face all the time. I just wanted to slap it out of his.
Nah, but, well, and then
Maybe
there-
because he was so
there
stinky.
was the
that
wine
was
merchant
the
dude
flies.
too. That,
again,
there was-
I watched 2 minutes of the trailer, so that's what it seemed like to me.
Well, you know what? You nailed it. It was a man.
yeah, it was. I think that I should hate it, but I don't.
Yeah,
The performances were too good,
yeah, and the flies.
and the fly, like there were some weird things that he just threw in for.
It was just
to say, let's say if this works, and you know what, kind of did.
he was
so,
trying to hit out of the park, and
Yeah.
sometimes they hit. But
yeah, it was man.
I felt okay. So did you feel that because the fly sounds and the weird sounds, it kind of throws you off your game
Yeah,
as you're watching the movie?
it was unnerving in something
was-
that really in a scene that really wasn't that unnerving.
Yeah, I know, but it made it unnerving.
But it was like, what's going on?
it brought tension to the movie.
Yeah.
Where, may or may not have wanted the tension, because there is kind of tension. The whole time you're wondering, is she going to save this farm?
Yeah.
And then they could have had, Oklahoma, where the sun comes,
It
waving
was
down the plain.
very strange
It's a
movie.
strange movie, but you know what? It's
that's
strange
what made-
enough that we liked it.
Well, and that's what made it Maz, because
Yeah.
it was just different.
Had a bit of difference to it. All right. Clicquot.
Clicquot.
ColecoVision.
ColecoVision.
Sounds like I missed it.
ColecoVision.
Oh, no, wait, I didn't. What I did,
You
you
did.
guys were going to see these two movies.
You went and saw
I went
Deadpool
to see a certain movie a second
and
time.
Wolverine
with
a
another friend.
a fourth time.
Only second.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm still looking for the collector cup with the topper and still haven't found it.
I don't know what that means.
Maybe we'll get it on.
It's this, except
Monday.
it has a little Wolverine on top.
Oh.
yeah.
But they sold out the first night we were there.
Or what you and I might call the Wolverine butt plug.
That too. Hey, you're just lucky I didn't bring my floating Deadpool head.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I left that at home.
Did you get that one too? You got the floating head and the other head?
I might go back for that one, but because I discovered who actually voices that character.
Yes.
My other favorite people.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, Deadpool versus Wolverine was the big movie. Came
Wasn't
out
it
this
and
weekend.
Wolverine?
Versus and I don't know, whatever. They were both in it.
They grabbed each other's bums.
Basic story of it. Deadpool tries to become an Avenger, gets turned down, and decides to just sell cars for a living. You know, packs away his costume, and then of course the Time Variance Authority comes knocking, which anybody who's actually watched that Loki series knows who they are. Basically, they control the timelines and shit. So yeah, he's offered a place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the, I don't know what they call it, the Prime Earth, whatever it is, the one where the Avengers exist. But he has to kill his own world to do it. So he decides instead to recruit a Wolverine. Problem is, Wolverine's dead.
From that universe.
From that universe. So he has to go find another one. And he finds a lot of interesting ones, including one which is actually life-size from the comics.
Yeah, the smaller
Because Wolverine's
Wolverine.
like 5 feet to 4 feet tall. He's a little guy. That was funny. Anyway, so basically he recruits Wolverine to save his universe from extinction. And hilarity ensues. This is what I've written about the movie. That's all I've written. Because I could talk for an hour about awesome this movie is. But I won't. I'll spare you two.
So you have to tell everybody else what it is.
Basically, I wrote Deadpool and Wolverine Mondo, which is my conclusion. But yes, I freaking loved it. These are two of my absolute favorite heroes who never got to do a movie. Well, they did one movie together, but it sucked. And then they actually invited a third one in, who's my other favorite.
What movie did they do together?
They did the Wolverine movie.
It was the Wolverine
the origin movie.
Yeah.
But the
had
producers
Reynolds as
decided the
Deadpool.
great idea to zip up his mouth so he didn't talk, which is defeats the whole purpose of Deadpool.
And he
But
didn't
anyway.
have his Deadpool uniform on. He was kind of like
No.
had skin.
I don't even remember it.
He
Yeah,
had. He
well,
was like
basically they used all the other mutants and created one weapon, whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah.
And it was Deadpool.
Yeah.
But they glued his mouth shut, and he had like Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a terrible movie. That was one of the worst ones. But anyway, so that's where these guys actually met and became friends. So like 20 years later, whatever it is, 15 years later, they did the movie together. But yeah, they did a lot of throwbacks to some characters, some of the originals. I won't give any spoilers away, but you know.
Oh, I'm giving away spoilers.
If you watch the OGs,
Everybody
some of those
knows by now.
characters showed up. And yeah, as I said, 3 of my 4 favorite superheroes ever were in it, and the 4th one showed up too. So basically, it was, what do you call it?
It was like
It
your
4 of them.
all-time favorite.
It was more than a
of all?
trifecta. It was better than a trifecta.
Quadrecta?
Yeah, because all
Quadrilateral?
4 of them were in it, so that's all I
Nice.
needed. And yeah, it was funny as hell, and I saw it a second time, enjoyed it just as much as the second time.
Nice.
Yeah, of course it was a Mondo. All right.
All right. Well,
Throw it down.
get ready for spoilers.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't seen this yet, it's only
late?
because every seat in your local cinema
Sold out.
was bought before you tried to buy one. So, rated R Deadpool finally makes it into the Marvel Universe. And along the way, he brings with him, and here's all the some of the spoilers, he brought along with him Blade, Gambit, Dogpool, X-23, and unfortunately, for those of us who watch this, Elektra. And, of course, Flame On, bitches.
Flame on, bitches.
This movie is funny as hell, and from start to finish is both hilarious and poking fun at nostalgia and the way that only Deadpool can poke fun.
I mean, you found Disney too.
Yeah, there's nothing off the table with Deadpool in this.
Cocaine, apparently.
Except for cocaine, yeah. What would they call it?
Peruvian marching powder.
Peruvian marching powder. There's so much in this to unpack, and is one of those movies that has so much happening that I felt as I was watching it that I almost needed to see it a couple of times.
And it also helps if you know some of the in jokes.
Yeah.
If you don't really get the reference.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds fucking hated each other when they did Blade Trinity. So the fact that he actually got him back for this was like a miracle.
Yeah.
Like just shit like that. Like everybody who was in the movie was cast for a very specific reason.
Yeah, he's made other movies
and when
with
you
them.
know the reasons, then it becomes more apparent and funnier.
Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs in this.
Totally, yeah.
In anticipation of this, though, I rewatched the first two Deadpool, and I found I actually enjoyed Deadpool 2 even more than the first time I watched it. And thank God they brought back X-Force, but in particular, they brought back Peter.
Peter! Sugar Bear!
Sugar Bear. Although I wish Domino also came back because she actually was my favorite part of Deadpool 2.
What's his name? Cable was alright too.
Yeah, but Cable's Cable. Like, what are you talking about? He's Thanos.
Thanos.
This film gives me hope that, again, for Marvel, just please continue to bring back R-rated versions of Marvel like this. And, of course, the best superhero movie ever made, which is Logan. I freaking love this movie. I had so much fun with you watching it, Mur. It was Mondo for me, too.
Good.
I got some unpacking. I think there is a couple of problems. Maybe Bryce will pick them up.
I'm sure he will.
Let's see what you got to say. Mr. Superheroes movies are meh.
Well, I mean, there was a lot going on in this.
A lot.
Like, I thought there were a lot of characters in that Kevin Costner piece of crap. But the thing is with this one is you're familiar with most of them, so it's fine. I don't know. It just kind of has no business being as entertaining as it was because
he's struggling right now.
If you just look at it as a movie and you want to critique it, it shouldn't work at all because there's too much going on. There's too many characters. There's too much ridiculousness that if you pulled it out of the movie, it wouldn't have mattered. You put it in the movie, well, it was entertaining.
Okay, we're listening.
He really wants to hate it. I know he
No,
does.
no, that's not what it is.
I don't want to hate it. I just know that this movie is not as good as the tremendous time I had watching it. And I can't deny that there was so much laughing. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
That even though it does have some stuff that is not really conducive to making a good movie.
Yes.
I had such a good time that I can't say anything but Deadpool and Wolverine was Mondo.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's such a fun, like...
It was so much fun.
It's funny how you say that, because there is things in this that you kind of go, okay... Do we need that? Do we need that? But
the thing is that you know it'd be funny, but I didn't think it would be that serious.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of serious shit
they
in
always
it.
pumps a little bit of heart into the
surprised me a little.
Deadpool movies.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be just wall to wall.
Well, don't you remember his death scene at the end of Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah, but that was funny.
no, well, it was also serious because he does die.
It wasn't that serious.
But you know, so to your point, you know, in contrast to this film, right? When we talked about the Marvels, okay? So here's a perfectly good comparison.
The Marvels.
No, it's a really good comparison.
Is it?
Because in the Marvels,
Okay.
one of our biggest complaints about the Marvels was that you have to kind of know the whole universe. It's like they sucked you in to
that's
want...
the problem with everything Marvel
No,
is it's all linked together now.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That was the big problem we had with the Marvels.
The Marvels hinged on you knowing everything about the Marvels going in.
This sure
one, you could go in cold. No, I'm telling you, Murray. You could go into You could go into this cold, not know a thing about any of these characters, and you're still going to fall in love with a lot of them, and you're going to enjoy yourself, and you're going to miss a lot of stuff. I'm not saying that you won't. Not saying that you won't.
No.
But at the end of the day, you are going to be very entertained, whether you know a goddamn thing about Deadpool and Wolverine.
No, those two characters everyone knows about. The thing I'm referring to is the time variance authority. if you've never had Disney in your life, never watched that show, no idea what the hell it even is.
But there's so much entertaining stuff that it doesn't matter.
You'd be confused, like, who the hell are these people?
No,
what
but
do they do?
but they kind of explain that.
They
kinda do.
They do
but
explain it.
They
say,
explain it enough that you can follow
But
it.
they pulled it from
the
a TV
Marvels.
show.
There's stuff in that where if you didn't know, you're like, huh?
Oh no, because a couple of the Captain Marvels are actual TV series, and they were never on the big screen.
100%, and that.
If it was just about her, it'd be different.
That's what makes this one so good, is because, like we've said, it helps that you know everything Marvel, because true, Deadpool is poking fun at everything Marvel,
but he's also poking fun at a bunch of other
he's
stuff.
Poking fun at
he's poking fun at pop culture. He's poking fun at
Kevin Feige.
Feige.
He's
he even made fun of the fact that the timeline stuff is been done, and it's just done badly.
Well, and
that's pretty much like Ant-Man and everything else is all about the timeline shit. And Marvel's been doing that for the last 5 years.
The best thing about this movie, I think, was Wesley Snipes sums it up. There is no other fucking Blade.
That's right.
Like, when he said that in the movie, I mean, there's surprises in this. Like, we're not going to give away all the spoilers, but there's some spoilers in here that,
there
like,
is especially some good stuff in there if you're Canadian.
Yeah, of course. I mean, talks about Saskatoon.
That's my favorite one where the guy says, it's like, Wolverine's the only good thing to ever come out of Canada. And he throws his sword at him, like, you get your country, my country's name out of your mouth. Then he pulls the sword out. That was awesome.
This movie is so much fun. Like,
it is.
And it's funny.
I'm surprised you
because we saw Boy Kills World.
Yes.
And I think Boy Kills World had a similar feel and think to it, but because I mean, it had the same level of over-the-top violence. It had the same level of humor within it. I just think this one was just put together so much better.
No, it was executed way better.
Yeah. I mean, seeing Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman together was just so much fun.
Undeniable chemistry there.
It's like kind of
Dogpool.
Yeah, Dogpool.
Yeah, Dogpool was
England's ugliest dog. She must have sought him out for this role.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Murray? You didn't predict it, but you know what? We get.
I am glad to be wrong.
All right. Mondo. Yeah.
All right. You guys got one more thing.
This is one definitely that I would want to go back and see again. Like.
I will always see it again.
Yeah, I would go see it again.
I'll probably see it a couple more times because I don't see anything else the next few weeks I even want to see.
Yeah, we're still going to watch them.
I'll go back just to get another collector cup. Totally.
Murray's house.
I'm on a search now. I'm going to find it. It's a smaller cup and it's got the thing on top.
The Deadpool butt plug. No, the Wolverine butt plug.
Because I need something to keep my Thor company on the hood.
And then I need something to stick in my butt when I come over to your house.
There you go. Mm-hmm. All right.
So we don't normally do this, but there was a special Eventive screening because in our city, and I don't know if was it just in?
No, it was throughout.
Was it Canada or the U.S. or the world? Or
it was the world.
The universe.
The Eventive is worldwide.
So that the screening that we watched was going live at the same time everywhere.
I believe so. There was two that day.
Or they geo-blocked that. Every geo-block time had the same time we got to view it across the road.
No, I think you could have got either one at the times, but yeah.
So this movie that we watched was called The People's Joker, and this film did play at one of our local film festivals, so it did get to play in cinemas here. Bryce and I didn't get to see it, unfortunately. So when we heard that Eventive was putting this on as a special event, we just said, we got to see it.
Let's watch it.
Yeah. So it's not, again, we don't normally do streaming for new releases. And this is coming to VOD. I know they told us in the pre-movie about 7 times when the VOD's coming on it.
Yes.
I'm surprised you got to deal with it.
Yeah. Did you want me to go first on this?
Yeah,
by the
go
way?
ahead.
Yeah. So The People's Joker. Now, these are some of the things I liked about this film. That their best friend was Penguin's son and all his fish jokes. It's a parody of Saturday Night Live, where male characters become comics based on their penis size. The social commentary on society and how cis people, trans, gay, queer culture is confused basically about everything. So just like Deadpool and Wolverine, they're poking fun at absolutely everything. There's nothing that is off the table with this film.
Yep.
Also, it had creative artistic layers and goes from humans to dolls to animation to other types of animation to paper mache to anime
Just
to
all
puppets
over the place.
There's just so much different levels of creative artistry. It kind of sometimes takes you a little bit out of it. The jokes they tell, for example, and I listed a few of them out because I couldn't stop laughing. This one in particular made me laugh so hard that they called Treblinka their girlfriend's vagina, which is funny because it's inches away from her gas chamber. and then they had to talk about the fact, is that insensitive? But it was how they told it. Balls are always funny, and says lines like, funny, like Bill Cosby before the, and Louis C.K. before, the stuff. Or like Woody Allen before all the daughter stuff. It was just like their act was just hilarious. And it kind of did, and they kind of referenced it to, it's kind of like Andy Kaufman in the absurdity of their humor.
Mm-hmm.
The comedy is so subversive and clever and quick, but at the same time, the production values at times are so terrible and basic. But it pokes fun at everything and everyone, including even making fun of trans culture as well, who they are part of. Just the right amount of fucked up and insight where half the time I didn't know what was happening or where it was going. So I did love a lot about this film, but too much downtime between the hilarity. And although it's super creative and super fucked up, I didn't feel it was a fully cohesive story. I really respect and I laughed a ton at this, but it was only a meh for me. I don't know how you felt.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is one of the more original works that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would say that it was... how do you describe it? As you say, it is genius in its unevenness because
and
it's really it's all over the place, and you're either going to go along for the ride or you're not. You're either going to be extremely it's not a movie for everyone.
No,
absolutely not. But it should be. It should be a movie for everyone, and I wish that everyone that watched this could recognize the humor in it. And I'm not sure that everybody. I know everybody would.
Yeah, no one's gonna.
If you've got a certain way of looking at things, you're not gonna be okay with anything.
Just
that
to
goes
give
on.
it some context, this movie screened at the end of Cuff, might have been last year, and it was a secret screening, so nobody knew what they were getting when they sat down. So at the end of the festival, they always give you something you didn't know was going to come up. This was it. And we had probably close to a dozen people walk out in the middle of it. Other people loved it. But yeah, the little bit that I saw, it definitely makes fun of the DC universe, which is, I think, why this guy is being sued by everybody. But yeah, I mean, if you can take a joke, great. If you can't, then you might not like it.
Yeah, I think most people would enjoy this. I think a lot of people will love this. I really enjoyed it. The humor is really funny.
It is when it's funny.
When it's funny, it's really funny. It's definitely an independent film.
Yes.
There are and its independence takes away from it a little bit. I think I would have liked it more. I love the way that it's not super cohesive in the way that in its visual style. I thought that was intriguing. but I still wish there was a couple more dollars injected into the making of this.
Yeah.
Everybody in it is spectacular. The penguin, oh my god.
So
The
good.
penguin is so good. Like, he's worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah.
I really, really, really like this. I really did, but at the end of the day, I can't give it a Mondo just because it's not a tremendously made movie, even though there's so much original stuff and so much artistic vision. And Vera Drew, I hope, gets a few more bucks to make the next movie.
Yeah, I
really,
think,
really liked it. High, man. Just can't monitor.
Yeah, I feel the same way. The cohesiveness to it, I think, is part of it. Like the production values and the cohesiveness, it doesn't tie itself back together well. Like, because you can keep that whole creative juices flowing, but you have to keep the movie flowing along with that creativeness. And I think it kind of falls apart as we get to the end. I kind of felt when there was about half an hour left, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Right. And then there was another half an hour left, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how you're going to end this, but however you end it isn't going to satisfy me to where I was right here at half an hour left in the movie.
Right. An hour in, you're still like, yes. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. And
gonna end.
then that's where it stopped. There, a lot of the humor kind of got out of it at that point.
Yeah. And that's true. Because, I mean, this was only a 92-minute movie, and it did seem longer.
Yeah, it felt longer. Although there was the short in front of it.
There was, which was kind of hilarious.
No, I think that I don't know if I would suggest everybody see this, because I think to your point, Marie, it's going to offend some people. But I wish
if you watch the trailer and you go, yeah, I think I need to see this, and you need to see it. If you watch the trailer and you're like, that looks terrible, I can't believe that they made it, well, then you don't want to go to it.
Yeah, it's a good point. Watch the trailer, and then if you've got,
but maybe you should anyways.
I think anything that's this artistic, it deserves a viewing.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if you want to consider yourself, and I hope most of the people that listen to us would consider themselves film people, right? Like, we're not normally just talking about superhero movies and crap that Hollywood spits
I'd love
out.
to see what they do next. I really would.
I do too. I think let's give them an opportunity and see where they go.
Yep.
Double meh.
As you were doing that,
We still reviewed it.
I guess.
And it is a new release. Like, we just don't normally do VODs. It was just because this was a special special event.
And it's worth talking about.
Yep.
Sure.
All right, what you got? Your favorite Hugh Jackman movies?
You're close. At the risk of taking even more abuse than my love for Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm going to talk about my favorite decade, the 80s.
I thought it was the 60s.
Specifically, my two favorite things about those 10 magical years: movies and soundtracks.
Oh, God, the worst soundtrack era
These
of our lives.
are not. I disagree. But that's why this is my minute. These are not in any particular order. It represent just not my opinion, but the general consensus.
Okay. We're still going to throw in our 2
Excluding
cents.
you two.
Yeah, we're going to throw our 2 cents in, but they'll be
What do you
quick.
got?
And yes, you may hear the name Kenny Loggins.
Oh, yeah, you'll hear it a few times if it's the 80s. So the only reason the guy had a career is for some reason. We got a movie coming out. Hey, Kenny, can you write us a
King
song?
of the 80s soundtrack.
Yeah, he was the king of
Okay.
something.
The Big Chill.
It's a good soundtrack.
While I have not seen this movie, you cannot argue with the cast or the unbelievable artists who did the music. Starred William Hurt, JoBeth Williams, Jeff Goldblum, Nick
good movie.
Tilly, Tom Berenger, and Kevin Kline.
I liked it.
Good movie, good soundtrack.
Heard
So
it
far,
through the grapevine.
There we go.
You can't always get what you want. The Tracks of My Tears.
Yeah.
Good Lovin'.
Yep.
My Girl.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Bad Moon Rising.
Yeah.
It's all good.
The list goes on. Every song.
Every song
so
is
far
a
you're batting
banger.
1,000. Hey, it's 1,000, right?
Yeah,
He's batting
probably
1,000.
He's batting
You guys
1,000.
are gonna
All
veer
right.
off.
All right, here we go.
He's gonna. I have a feeling he's gonna talk about Top Gun.
I may.
Oh,
my
God.
Flashdance.
Oh,
Yes,
what a feeling.
It was a movie about a stripper / welder. And a rom-com at that.
Oh,
Still, the Irene Cara
that's
theme song won an
terrible.
Oscar for Best
What a
Song.
feeling.
It featured Maniac, Manhunt, I Love Rock and Roll, and 2 songs
She's
by
a
Laura
maniac,
Branigan, including Gloria.
Gloria was on it?
Gloria.
I didn't even know
It's just a
that.
good soundtrack. Oh,
Gloria,
just you
I heard
wait.
about the hideous Gloria that you've been living under.
Okay, so that's the bad version. Then we have Footloose. I told you it was coming. So you're gonna serenade me the whole time, aren't you? Kenny Loggins was the king
That is an
of
awful
80s
song.
movie soundtracks, starting with this one.
It was so
Forgetting
bad.
for a minute that this film
Wasn't
starred
s-
the awesome
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
Uh-huh.
Had a great story based on a real town crazy enough to outlaw dancing.
That was so...
This movie
Terrible.
had arguably the best collection of songs ever assembled on one album.
Oh my God, no!
Yes.
This was one of those ones that
What are you talking about?
I wish I was part of that church
This is-
group that burned
Okay,
the
let's
records.
hear what's on
This
it.
is
All I
not my
remember...
minute.
All I remember is Footloose, but what else was
Let's
there?
hear it for the boy.
Oh no!
Holding Out for a Hero.
No!
Mental Health, Bang Your Head by Quiet Riot. Almost Paradise by Canada's own Mike Reno.
Oh
Loverboy.
no!
Hurts So Good.
Almost paradise.
Waiting for a Girl Like You.
Uh-huh.
Foreigner.
Yeah.
And 2 songs
I've
by
been
Mr. Loggins,
waiting.
including the catchy song
Like you.
I'm Free.
Mm.
Something for everybody. Well, except maybe Bryce.
Yeah,
And me.
out of that,
Let's
I
dance!
could listen to the Quiet Riot song. That's it, because heavy metal's gonna rock the dead.
We have Dirty Dancing.
Just stop,
Nobody
Murray.
puts
Now the
baby
torch-
in
Come
the
on.
corner.
Now there's just torture.
Nobody likes that.
This was intentional.
Everybody likes it except you two.
Oh God.
Whether you like the movie or not, I actually happen to think it was the late Patrick Swayze's best work. And I loved Roadhouse. He
no.
even sings one of the songs. You got Big Girls Don't Cry, Will
Yeah.
You Love Me Tomorrow,
Yeah.
Do You Love Me, In the
Yeah.
Still of the Night.
Yeah, those
All
are good.
classic 60s
Those are
tunes
fine.
with the
But then-
Oscar-winning
but
I've
then
Had
the-
the Time of My Life.
That's where we fall off a
And
cliff.
Swayze's She's Like the Wind,
Which is
and
awful.
Eric Carmen's Hungry Eyes.
Oh my God.
Round out this catchy
Just
selection.
if
of
we could
songs.
eliminate all the '80s songs, we're good.
That's not the point of it. Okay, here's one for you.
Okay.
Purple Rain.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Darling Nikki.
Yes.
Full disclosure.
Yes.
In the Michael Jackson Prince War, I am Team Jackson.
Team Prince.
Team
Not
Prince.
to say Prince didn't have some good songs,
That's some awesome
but
songs.
he was the only artist to ever turn down my man Weird Al for permission to parody his song. The only one.
He-
Of everybody
he-
he asked.
He did.
He turned him down, which means I guess he didn't have a sense of humor.
Later in life, though, I think that he should have reconnected because
He should have, but he
asked,
didn't.
He asked at the wrong time when
Well,
Prince was all.
He was full of himself.
uppity.
That's
Pouty.
the problem.
But Prince actually had a good sense of humor towards the
this
end of his life.
soundtrack was epic, even if I don't like Prince as much. I didn't think he was much of an actor.
Mm.
Plus, Morris Day and the Mother Bleepin' Time.
Yeah.
Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry,
Yep.
I Would Die For You,
Yep.
and the title track
Yep.
are all brilliant.
And the title track, Darling Nikki.
And Darling Nikki. Masturbating
Masturbate
with a magazine.
Never saw it. Okay, Back to the Future.
Ugh.
You know I was putting this one
Oh,
on
God,
here.
yeah.
I was 15 years old.
I
moved
don't
to the-
mind Huey.
Just moved to the big city of Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, from my town of 3,000 people.
Yeah.
It was the summertime. I was
Summertime.
about to start
Yep.
grade 9 at a new school, and I had no friends yet. But I had Michael J. Fox.
Oh.
Back to the Future soundtrack truly had it all. One of the best movie songs ever by one of my favorite 80s groups, Huey Lewis and the Newsfellas. Power of Love,
Power of
Back
Love.
in Time.
Back in Time.
Michael Jackson's performance of Johnny B. Good.
Yeah.
Hey, he played the guitar.
Uh-huh.
And a couple of 50s classics like Mr. Sandman and Earth Angel.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad
Love this
soundtrack.
movie so much.
I'm okay with this selection. I
Even
can
brought
listen to
on
this
ZZ
soundtrack.
Top for the sequels.
Yes.
Okay, here's one you're probably gonna hate.
Yep.
Beverly Hills Cop.
I'm trying to remember a song from it. Yeah. Herbie Hancock.
Nope.
Oh no.
And now you have that tune stuck in your head. You're welcome.
Who's did
Axel
that?
F by Harold Faltermeyer.
Harold Faltermeyer. Yeah.
Anchored by songs like New Attitude, The Heat Is On,
Bad,
Neutron
bad,
Dance,
bad,
and of course, Nasty Girl
bad,
by Prince's co-star Vanity.
bad,
Whatever happened to her?
bad.
I love
No
Eddie
talent.
Murphy almost as much as MJF.
Mm.
Those two gentlemen were the 80s for me.
Yeah, that's an awful soundtrack.
Truly, the sequels weren't that great, but I did enjoy the last one.
Nice.
It might have been the music. And here it is.
Ugh, the
What?
moment.
Top Gun.
Yeah, no, Murray.
I know.
There's
you
not a good
both
song on that
hate
album.
This movie.
No, I hate the soundtrack. Oh, maybe more than the movie, and you know how much I hate the movie.
I was 16 and I thought this was the best film ever. I still love it.
Okay,
You
but the
can't
songs on it
deny
are
the
terrible.
high-flying hits of this soundtrack that made it the most popular soundtrack of 1986
Okay,
and one of the best-selling of all time.
it's terrible.
So it's just your two opinions. Danger Zone,
Awful.
Take My Breath Away,
Awful.
by Berlin, that won the Oscar.
Awful.
Heaven in Your Eyes,
Oh
again,
God,
Mike Reno.
terrible. Yeah, what is with Mike Reno?
Harold Faltermeyer's theme song,
Yeah, terrible.
the homoerotic Playing with the Boys,
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just terrible.
Sitting on the Dock of the Bay,
Yeah,
That's
Great
okay.
Balls of Fire,
yeah, that's fine.
and of course the cheesy You've Lost That Love and Feeling.
Oh,
yeah, I
God,
could do without that.
I love every minute of this damn movie.
Nice.
Finally,
Yeah.
a special shout out to all of the soundtracks from the collection of John Hughes.
Okay.
Pretty
Yeah.
in Pink,
Some of
16
it's okay.
Candles, Ferris Bueller, Breakfast Club,
I can get on board with a
Vacation,
little OMD.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Great Outdoors, Uncle
Of
Buck,
course, that's their
Home
worst
Alone.
song, but
The sheer number of songs I love from those films is far too long to mention.
all right.
Thank you,
then don't.
Mr. Hughes.
Perfect.
John Hughes had the ability to find
He found great music for every
new
movie.
talent. That's what he did.
Funny,
Yeah.
Simple Minds. Their biggest hit and the only song that people know that they did. It's like
Yeah.
the only song
Yep.
they didn't write.
Yeah,
Yep, pretty
exactly. I
They didn't
know.
even want to do it. They're
I
like,
know.
really? Do we have to? And the record company said,
they're
yeah,
still
you have to.
cashing
Get in the
the
room.
paychecks from singing
and
it, though.
Simple Minds is one of my favorite bands of all time.
They've got some great
There you
music.
go.
You know, you can't get Sons and Fascination anywhere anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Thank God I
There,
have the CD.
your torture is over.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
All right, my rage. I had like 5 or 6 different rages that I was going to do this week.
That's a lot of rages.
Yeah, I had a lot of stuff that was raging in my loins this week, but
Loin rage.
it
That's
was
the best kind.
The best kind of. It's
Wish I had some rage in my loins. Loin rage makes me.
Yeah, so my rage this week is, can we please just not keep bringing back these nostalgia films? Like, we look at this, like, I don't even know who thought the idea of the Fabulous Four was a good idea. But, you know, the fact that that all of Hollywood, and I've talked about this till I'm sick of talking about it, and I'm just like, can we not just do new content? There's been a lot of talk online and the socials too about
The
You know,
socials. I don't
yeah,
even know
about-
what that means.
new movies that are coming out that are remakes.
They're all
There was a
remakes.
movie that
They're all
was one that
remakes.
was remade just recently that had like, it was made in English. They remade it a year and a half later I don't remember the name of it. And I'm just like, this whole thing of nostalgia is making me angry. That's my.
Just you wait for the new Running Man.
It was just because, that in itself is infuriating me. But the fact, I think, is that I absolutely think that Bette Midler is the most repulsive thing I've seen on screen in my entire life.
You don't have to convince me. I never liked her.
Oh, yo.
No.
Was she at least decent in Beaches?
Well, that's the thing. You know, Bryce and I had a conversation.
We did have a
That was like, what,
conversation.
1990?
Specifically
this is
about
off
it.
topic, but
Yeah. So I am going to, at one point, go back and watch Beaches.
and I have already watched Ruthless People.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
All right. Well, next week we're
Which-
going to add the lists in there.
Wasn't she in that Sarah Jessica Parker thing, too?
Probably.
Probably.
Hocus Pocus Focus,
Ah,
whatever it is?
Yeah,
she was-
Aren't they
Hocus
now doing
Pocus.
another one?
They did do
They
another
did do
one.
Oh, they're doing
It
the
was-
third one, too.
Oh,
Well,
there
the
you go.
second one was unwatchable.
Yeah, but she's in that, too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And she was repulsive in that also. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my rage.
Yeah, no original ideas left.
Yeah. And
Hollywood nostalgia. Something about Bette Midler. I don't know. I wasn't listening.
anti-point.
Yeah, okay. We have to write the words to that song.
It's pretty good.
Coming, I'm sure.
All right, so my rage this week is life is a mystery.
Madonna?
Everyone
against
must
Madonna?
stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I want to take you there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power just like a prayer. I know I'll take you there. I can't get that goddamn song out of my head since Deadpool. That is my rage.
Thank you, Madonna.
Yeah. Sorry, what was your rage?
I don't like that song.
What?
Oh.
What would you not like about Madonna?
That song.
There's a lot of
in
things I don't
particular.
like about her,
She's-
but I have no problem
She's
with that
the
song.
embodiment of female empowerment.
I'm trying to think of a Madonna song that I truly like. Let me think.
I like
Let me
Tru- I
think.
like True
No,
Blue.
there isn't one.
I like True Blue.
I don't like True Blue.
I like them all. I love Madonna.
Yeah, I don't like
She's
Madonna.
overrated.
I think she's. Boy, yeah, yeah.
There you go.
I don't hate anything. I just don't like any of it. Like I would not, if it was playing on the radio, I would probably change the station.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
know.
would
It depends on
you would
what
never
song.
listen to a radio station that played that song.
Maybe Borderline. I could listen to Borderline.
There you go. That's a good one. You know, here's the
Didn't
thing.
you do
like,
a few songs from Dick Tracy?
it's hard for people to
I love that
identify.
movie. Dick
There you go.
Tracy's so good.
It
There
was
you go.
terrible.
She did some
It was a
songs for
good
that.
movie.
Yeah, it was awful. And
She was great in it.
and Bryce is awful. But you know, the thing is that
best thing she's
Madonna.
done as an actress.
Wait, I'm going to change my rage.
Is it to Bryce? Because I can get on
It's
that.
always Bryce.
I can get on that.
We're to be perfectly honest, your rage every week is me.
Well, that's my rage every week, but I don't have a segment.
Yeah, you do. It's
You know,
called
you
the
should-
Murman
No,
Minute.
Yeah, you
but mine comes before yours.
you should.
Wow.
You should.
So when someone finishes mine, I'm raging at you about something.
You know what you should do, Murray, is you should do your favorite things that make you in the Merman Minute next week.
That
put
make you
all-
rage?
That make you rage about
Oh,
Bryce.
yeah, maybe I'll do that.
All
right, you know what?
So that was it. You
You
don't
know
like
what?
Madonna. All right.
I
then.
know. I don't. I just know. I hate that fact that I can't get that bloody song out of
I'm
my
sure
head.
glad they put it in the
I
movie.
Preferred the movie from the.
I literally
the second
sang it at
one, but-
work like 3 times. this
Nice.
There you go.
Awesome. Now you have to buy the album. I guess what you're getting for your
Glad you
birthday this
serenaded
year.
somebody else for a change.
Madonna's greatest hits.
week.
There you go. The Immaculate Collection. Is that what they call it?
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Last week on Rage or Dare. After his complaining ended, Bryce finally pulled the 1994 Hillary Swank classic, The Next Karate Kid, from Jim's evil bag of remakes and reimaginings. Hey, what the fuck, Jim? That's my shtick. You vying for my job, dude? You best check yourself before you wreck yourself, pal. This week, Mr. Steely Pants gets to choose to rage or dare or choose a real remake or reimagining from his God of Rage. Now, let's check in with Bryce and see if the Karate Kid thing gets to show the real goods of Hillary Swank's performances, or do we have to wait until she appears in Boys Don't Cry in 1999? Or maybe wait a little longer until she shows up in $1 Million Baby? Or is this just a wax on, wax off sort of thing? Come on, Bryce.
Yeah.
It's making me want to wax on. Or no, sorry, I want to wax off. The waxing off is the good stuff, right?
I don't know.
All right, tell us about the fabulous Hillary Swank and her new conversion therapy film acting.
What? I don't
Yeah,
even
that
know
one
what
hasn't
you're
come
talking
out
about.
yet.
So the next Karate Kid, bit of an odd movie.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, it's about this teenage girl, and she loses her parents, and her grandmother, who lives alone with the teenage girl, played by Hillary Swank. Her name is Julie Pierce in this. She lives alone with her in this giant mansion, which is kind of
Sounds awesome.
Well, but of course, she's a sullen teenager, and and her grandmother doesn't know how to deal with her. Okay, because she's out trying to nurse a hawk back to health.
What?
Yeah.
What
Okay.
does this have to do with anything?
Exactly. So then the grandmother decides to go away on a vacation and stay at Pat Morita's house.
For sex?
What is his name in this?
Is it for sex?
Miyagi.
It's always Miyagi.
Is it for sex?
So she goes and stays at Miyagi's house. No, but that's not the arrangement, because Miyagi is going to come to her house and stay with her teenage daughter.
An adult male is
Yeah.
going to go stay with her teenage daughter?
Right. And the first thing he does is walk in on her when she's changing. So it's like, what is going on?
What?
In what world do you invite this guy,
Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi.
You invite Mr. Miyagi to stay with? Sorry, it's not her teenage granddaughter. She's the grandmother.
Oh, it's even worse. Maybe.
Yeah. So it's like, what? So anyways, at her school, there's this weird, I guess it's a kind of a junior cadet thing. I don't know what it is. It's run by Michael Ironside as Colonel Dugan. And basically, he just beats the living hell out of these high school students to no ramifications. I'm not sure what his job, like he's at the high school. He has influence with whatever goes on at the high school. And he also somehow has influence with the police department, because in his teaching of these guys, they end up like breaking laws. They light a guy's car on fire, and there's no ramifications for that, because he just tells the police officers, "Don't worry, it's all good." And they go, "Oh, okay."
Makes sense.
It makes no sense. So anyways, back to Hillary. Oh, by the way, Walton Goggins, in one of his first roles, is in this. Yeah, he's Charlie. And Charlie has about 3 lines. Probably the best thing in the movie. Young Walton Goggins, because you go, hey, isn't that Walton Goggins? Yeah,
Sure
it is.
enough, it is.
Pretty good. I enjoyed that part. But everything else is just really, really bad. Hillary Swank as Julie Pierce apparently learned karate when she was younger with her father.
Huh?
No, who's now dead. And her father got taught by her grandfather, who was buddies with Miyagi, and that's why this situation occurred.
That's why her grandma's stoic.
Her grandmother,
Miyagi.
she's like, yeah, come stay with my teenage daughter and teach teach her some stuff. So he does the whole wax on, wax off thing with her. Now here's
he
the
whacks.
thing.
Wait, he whacks off.
He whacks off with her,
Okay.
and he takes her to.
Nice.
He takes her to a monk's, like, they go to like this weird monastery where these monks are hanging out, right?
Is there more waxing off?
So now she's in this monastery with a bunch of older gentlemen.
There's so much waxing off.
There's a lot of waxing. So she's there, and at the end of the whole thing, all these guys have been there for like, probably because they're all old. They've all been there for at least like 40 years. They've never left this monastery, right?
They've never seen a girl.
Probably not. So anyway,
This doesn't sound safe at all.
no, she's in a lot of sketchy situations, let's say.
I thought it was a movie about karate.
Just good
Yeah.
thing she knows
So
karate.
anyways, at this monastery, Miyagi's teaching her more karate to get her freshened up because, she hasn't done the karate in a while. Why, we're not sure, because it's not like the other Karate Kids where they're like in karate class and it's for,
Yeah.
to go into competition. Isn't it? She's just learning it, for
Protect herself from a bunch of dirty old men.
well, that's part of it. Dirty old men, and she is actually being hassled by
Groomed?
this dude at the high school who's a follower of Michael Ironside's character, Colonel Dugan, but that's not the interesting part of this movie. That's all boring.
What?
The interesting part is that they go to this monastery,
Yeah.
and in the couple weeks that she's there, by the way, she's there because she got suspended.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, is Uma Thurman there too?
No, Uma Thurman's not there. So they teach her some karate. He teaches her some karate, right? And at the end of this 2 weeks, she makes such an impression on these monks that it's her birthday, right? So they make her a cake and bring it out, and they make a wish, and she blows out the candles, and she goes, "My wish is that you guys will come and stay with me for a while because you showed me such hospitality."
Wow,
so they've never
wow.
left this place ever.
This
And they're going to go,
monastery.
and guess what? They do. They go to her place, like 4 of them, and hang out. So now it's her and 4 monks and Mr. Miyagi all in his house together.
So there's 5
Now
old
there's
men
5
and a 13-year-old
and a
girl.
13,
I don't
yeah.
think she's 13.
I think she's like
Changing
14.
in her
I think
bedroom.
she's like
I
15.
think she's like 20.
Well, yeah, no, she's like 15 in this. She's in high school. She's in like high school. She might be in like grade 11, maybe.
So far, nothing about this sounds.
this description
So-
is longer than the movie.
So, anyways, at the end, she learned some stuff because she had to jump off a rock and do a karate kick and then land on another rock, and that was the whole deal of being at this monastery.
right.
Is there's these 2 rocks, and she had to do this weird this karate kick and land it, and apparently that.
When she
made her
did
like
that,
a-
it was perfect.
Made her like her karate master, I guess.
It sounds awesome.
So, anyways, in the end, she ended up fighting this dude that she was like, that was harassing her, and she like kicks his bum. But then Michael Ironside, he calls on Walton Goggins as Charlie, and he says, "Charlie, go kick her ass." And Charlie's like, "No."
I want to date her ass.
He's like, "Why? I know this is wrong," and it was.
So it was a happy ending.
So then Miyagi.
So with all the
Then
waxing
Miyagi-
off, there was a happy ending. Is what
Then
I heard.
Miyagi kicks Colonel Dugan's ass. Michael Ironside cries like a little bitch, and then
This
then
sounds
the
awesome.
movie ends.
This was this Mondo?
No, this was an awful movie. It didn't even make sense. Like, I'm describing it. This is how it happened, and this isn't a movie. How is this a movie? This was terrible, and everybody in it was awful. And Michael Ironside should be ashamed of himself if he's on our mesmerized list. It's a crying shame because he
did
is
a lot of
frickin'
movies.
awful in this. I need him not to be on. He's not mesmerizing. He is awful.
Well, that's unfortunate for him, based on our rules.
Yeah, whatever. Our rules that you change every week. And then I go blah 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 blah, and then you go yeah, and then
And
it's
then-
like
For those of
all
you who
silly.
want to know the
And
actual
then-
plot of the movie,
that was the
Mr.
plot.
Miyagi is back and he takes a new pupil under his wing, a troubled adolescent girl. That's it. End of story.
That's not what it was.
That's exactly what it
It
was.
was-
It sounds like there was way too much dirty old man around a young
Yeah,
girl.
well,
It was
I think-
inappropriate to say the least.
Yeah.
And it got a 4.5 out of 10.
All right. Well,
Well,
you know what?
it got a 7%
What-
on the tomato meter.
What I want to
There you
tell
go.
you is
yeah.
that you can look forward to that and so much more from my bag of rage, because that was the best. That was the one I thought you might have got you to a Mondo.
Oh,
The rest of them are not even going to be close to that
it
one.
was awful.
So I will be watching, because again, Bryce didn't do his job. What's the worst that could happen? 2.
Yep.
What is that?
What's the worst that could happen?
I believe
Two?
the first one is Nick Cage, and the second one is just really bad.
Okay.
Got
I don't
like-
think I've ever heard of this.
You will.
Well, I will be watching What's the Worst That Can Happen 2 from the year 2000.
And I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi.
I hope so. I love Tubi. Tubi's my
What's
new
the worst that could
spirit
happen
animal.
was Martin Lawrence and Danny DeVito.
That
but
was
there
the
was
first one.
so there's a 2?
Oh, right. We watched that one. Didn't we watch What's the Worst That Could Happen?
Yeah, I don't think that there's a second one.
Apparently.
No.
I just hope that Martin Lawrence isn't in it.
I saw it on Tubi, so sure. Might just come out this year, though.
What?
No, I said it was from the year 2000.
In the
What was the
year
first one?
2000. I don't see a what's the worst that could happen to. I don't think this exists. I think you saw the question mark and thought it was a 2.
No, I'm pretty sure
It's from the year 2000.
Is it from the year 2000?
That's what
It
he's
was-
got on here.
What's the worst that could happen is from the year 2001. So I'm ultra confused right now.
it was.
I don't think this movie
I thought
exists.
there was a 2.
I think it was a question mark, Murray. I think you thought a question mark was a 2.
Well, I will be watching something from the year 2000-ish
I think it's
with
2001.
possibly the worst thing that
Well,
could
have
happen.
Have you watched this one?
I've seen what's the worst that could
Oh,
happen.
I mean, as part of the podcast.
No,
Well, there you go. Then.
we
There
have
we
not.
go.
There
You know
go
what?
then.
I'm kind of looking forward to it.
It
Sounds
probably
good.
is the
No,
first
it's got
one.
Martin Lawrence, so you know it's going to be
That's why I
good.
wrote it down there, because it has Martin Lawrence in it.
But it also has John Leguizamo.
Huh, he's gold.
John
And
Leguizamo
Bernie
is
Mac.
cool.
And Bernie Mac, this is a winner. What are you talking about? Winner. All right.
It's got Larry Miller in it. Everybody like and Richard Schiff.
I'm looking forward.
William Fichtner.
I'm looking forward to this.
Sure.
This is going to be the best thing I've ever seen.
Anna Gasteir's in it. Nora Dunn's in it. A couple more Saturday Night Live alumni are in it.
Sounds
We're not working anymore.
fantastic. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, our god of rage, from the nerdy photographer, for the voice of Rage all day. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We always want to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dares to see terrible movies to fuel our rage. But no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 I'll make us a rage. That's it for this week. Boing on.
Rage on.